welcome here. My name is Kara. We are so glad you're joining us today for week 3 in our series on essentials. Now, have you ever wanted something like really badly? A while back, I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw this ad from Sugar Crisp, the cereal, and it was for this cereal spout. And it's basically this piece of plastic that goes on top of a cereal box to help you like pour it out of the box. And you could sign up to get a free one. So sure enough, I clicked the link and I tried to get the free one, sold out, all gone. They had no more left. But I noticed this tiny little blurb at the bottom that said, hey, if you put in your email, we'll let you know when there's more in stock. Put it in. A couple weeks later, I get an email, more in stock. So I quickly go on, log on, all gone. Bummer, I missed it. But it said, there'll be more coming. So sure enough, I wait. Several weeks later, again, more in stock, I get the email, log on, missed it, again. But it still said we have a few more left. So I was like, okay, I really gotta wait for this email to come. But what I did is I noticed that both the emails they had sent me came on the Monday morning at 8 a.m. and they were 2 weeks apart. So I thought, what are the odds the next email is gonna come on a Monday morning at 8 a.m. 2 weeks from now? So I set this alarm on my phone to remind me of it. And it just so happened that I was off camping that weekend. So now I'm like in a tent, my alarm goes off first thing on the Monday morning. Is there gonna be a cereal spout available? I quickly log on, go to see. Sure enough, they had a few left. They hadn't even sent the email yet. And I was able to sign in, put in all my information, and get this like free cereal spout. It's awesome. So now I have it. I can use it to pour cereal out of a box into my bowl. I can use it to like pour straight into my mouth if I really want. But I was so satisfied. I knew that I had like earned this cereal spout, right? I deserved it. After all that work, being in the tent, setting in the alarm, it felt like I had like hacked the system to figure this out. I had earned my cereal spout. And even my brother, sometimes he loves to borrow it. Now, sometimes in life, we feel like, we've earned something. And often when that happens, we start to feel entitled to it. Maybe I've earned that good grade, so I deserve it. I worked hard for the spot on the sports team, so I deserve it. I got up early to beat my siblings to the gaming console, so I deserve to play it first. We can find this language sneaking into a lot of different areas of our life, and sometimes even with our relationship with God. We start to think, well, I went to church. I'm a good enough Christian. I've earned God's love. Or I give some of my money to God's things and to poor people. I've earned God's, forgiveness. Or I was kind to that weird kid at school a couple weeks back, so I've earned his love and kindness to me. But in reality, none of this is true. You see, we are sinful people. We talked last week about how we have this pollution in our heart. We don't deserve God's grace. We don't earn it, but in his love, he gives it to us. Here's a question I want to ask you, and I want you to turn to the people around you and take some moments to chat about it. When was a time you were given something that you didn't deserve? Life is full of consequences. Now, if I only ever were to eat fast food, I'm probably not gonna have a very healthy body. And just the other morning, I was getting ready to go out in the morning and I spilled my entire cup of tea all over my pants. Sure enough, they were wet. That was a consequence for spilling my tea. Just the other day too, I ran an event for youth and I had these cupcakes. They were stacked, they were beautiful, and they were for our graduation event. And so I had them in my car and I was driving, came to a stop sign and I did not slow as I should. The whole box just went upside down. Cupcakes were toast. They did not look so great. Now, that was the consequence for me driving too quickly coming up to the stop sign. But consequences aren't always bad, right? If I study for my test, I'll probably do pretty well. Or if I go to sleep on time, I'll wake up feeling rested. If I'm kind to other people, they'll probably be pretty kind to me. And with our pollution in our heart, there's also a consequence. When Adam and Eve chose to go against God and to eat the fruit, God said there would be a consequence. With the pollution in the world, the consequence is that it's hurting the earth. But with the pollution in our hearts, it's hurting our souls. You see, pollution hurts our souls. And so the consequence, Romans 6:23 states, "For the wages of sin is death." The consequence is that someone has to pay for this pollution. Death is the biggest punishment you could ever have, right? The worst option is to die. But there's a dilemma here because we know that God loves us. He created us. He wants what's best for us. He doesn't want to hurt us, but he does require there be a payment for the choices that we've made. And so he had a plan to redeem, or for redemption. You see, redemption is taking something broken and making it into something beautiful. A workshop like this, it's a really great space for that. All the time, you're taking broken things and you're making them into something that's beautiful. You see, God initiated redemption. He didn't want to leave us there to face the consequences on our own. Rather, he had a plan from the start to redeem us. But there's a catch. You see, sin had a cost, a high cost, a cost that not any of us could pay. Humans needed something bigger than themselves, outside of themselves, to pay for this penalty. We needed a perfect sacrifice. And so God sent his son, Jesus, to this earth. He was fully God and fully man. He was perfect. But Jesus didn't just live. He actually wanted to take that death for us. He did so much more. The consequence, to die on our behalf. And so Jesus was killed. He was stripped of his clothes, beaten, made fun of publicly in front of everyone he knew. And Jesus, a fully perfect, fully God, fully man person, died. He was killed, punished, and willingly took the consequence that we deserved so that we might not have to take that punishment. But the best part of the sacrifice is that it doesn't end there. Because of who Jesus is, he intended to bring us life, redemption for our pollution. And so the story doesn't end with death. It actually ends with new life. Because when Jesus died for us, the crazy thing is that he didn't actually stay dead. 3 days later, he literally rose from the dead. He came back to life and overcame death. And so as we trust in him, we get to participate in that. We get the ability to experience life forever with Jesus in heaven. You see, Jesus was perfect. He had no blemish. He had no wrongdoing. He had no pollution. And because of that, he could be the payment for our sin. He could redeem our souls. He offers to forgive us for this pollution. Ephesians 1 verse 7 says, "In him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of our trespasses according to the riches of his grace." A while back, I went on a cruise with my family, and it was so much fun. There's so many different things you can do on a cruise, right? There's like water slides and pools, and then you stop and go to different places. And what I loved about the cruise was there was all different types of food. And so while you're on the cruise, you can eat the food, and they even have this like free ice cream machine, okay? And the ice cream machine is on at all times of the day. So I could walk up to it, right after breakfast, and you could make your own cone as high as you can kind of get it to go with the soft serve. And I could eat it first thing in the morning. Sure enough, right before lunch, go for another ice cream cone, have a little snack. Mid-afternoon, another ice cream cone, sitting by the pool, licking your ice cream. Dinner, ice cream. After dinner, ice cream. Anytime I wanted, I could go and get an ice cream cone. And I remember it one day on the cruise. I went up to my parents and I said, "Dad, look, it was free." And he looked at me and he said, "No, that was not free, Kara. That was ABP." And I was like, "What are you talking about? What is ABP? I don't know what that means." And he said, "Already been paid. I paid for that ice cream cone when I bought your ticket to come on the cruise. I already paid the price for that cone, so you don't have to now. And for the rest of the trip, everything we had or did, it was ABP, already been paid for." So was it free? Well, to me, yeah, it was free. But in reality, was it free? No. You see, someone had to pay for it, and someone already had. They had bought the ticket to get on the boat, so then I got to live like it was free. You see, with Jesus, he paid the price so that now we can live life like we're free. We are ABP. We have been paid for by the Father. And so we don't have to now hold the weight of that because he has paid it all. The price has been paid because we are loved. You are more loved than you know. God loves you. You see, Jesus overcame death on our behalf, and he wants to come in and transform us. Many people in life will seek redemption through all kinds of other things, but it is only through Jesus that redemption can truly happen. You see, Jesus takes our broken things in life and he makes them into something beautiful. He redeems it. And so the solution for your life can only be found through Jesus Christ. Hey, thanks for being part of what we're doing today at Youth. We are so glad we could continue this conversation on with you. If you have questions about anything you've been hearing, I challenge you to chat with your leader, chat with the people around you, because we would love to continue this conversation. It has been so great talking with you, and I will see you next week.